of talking here, but not quite. I think you guys need to hear this one more time. Well, actually, before you guys hear it again, we're going underneath the overpass. And you guys know we do it with an overpass. Oh, yeah. And let's go. Point it straight. 3, 2, 1. Ah! Oh, it's so good. I love it. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. And if you can't tell, my car sounds a little bit different today. And if you didn't catch the last video, we installed a Corsa Extreme Catback system on it. And you guys all really liked my video of my full review of my Roush and SV X-Pipe. So I figured I would, one, make that same video with this, so you guys can kind of get my idea, my feels on the Corsa system. And I'm also going to compare it to the Roush system, because the old, I guess, Catback I had on this car was about half the price of what's on the car now. So, you know, is this system worth twice what the other system was? We'll find out. So first, let's start off with the tangible things, everything that goes that you get with this exhaust. So full 3-inch 304 stainless steel mandrel bent tubing, so it fits perfectly. That's one thing I will just praise Corsa to the moon for, is we got this whole system installed in about 45 minutes. And I know people can do it faster maybe, but just, I mean, as far as just being, you know, a garage mechanic with some jack stands and basic tools and, you know, and just, you know, a normal sense of, you know, car knowledge, I guess. Very quick install, super painless, everything fit perfectly. And so I have to give Corsa the highest freaking points for just their quality. I mean, the welds all look amazing. There's no dents or dings. The box that it came in was military grade. I mean, they had foam protecting everything. And so big props to Corsa for how well they take care of this thing from, you know, from their shop to you. And then, like I said, fit and finish on everything is perfect. So, I mean, I'm sure a lot of other exhausts fit fine too, but just the Corsa, just, I'm not talking, it was a glove. It was the easiest install I've ever done. And also the cool part, if you get the full Corsa Catback system, I guess this is the same with any full Catback system, you don't have to do any kind of cutting. If you're just putting an axle back on, where the pipes come out to go to the mufflers, you do have to make a cut there. If you're just doing an axle back system, if you're gonna do the full Catback, it's just bolts, which is nice if you are in a, you know, more of a novice car guy and you know, cutting things isn't your thing. Go for the full Catback, then you won't worry about that. God, it sounds so good. So the sound, guys, it's just very visceral. It's a very raw sound, and the old one was too, but this one's just, it feels and sounds a little bit like the old system, but it's just a little bit better. Just the tone it makes. I guess that's the word that I'm gonna go with today, is tone. Because while the old system sounded great and was very loud, that was it, it was very loud. And I think that's really hard for an exhaust company to do, because look, anybody can make a loud exhaust. That's easy. You want loud, that's fine. It's hard to find a loud exhaust that can also be quiet, that also makes a good noise, that, you know, you can really tell, you know, driving this car and listening to this exhaust, that they didn't just care about volume, they cared about the tone the exhaust made too. They wanted this car to sound a certain way. And I feel like, and I never thought I'd say this because I really liked my last system, I feel like this exhaust setup is the best representation of what this engine can sound like. So getting back to the tone of this thing, so it does a couple things for you. One, it really smooths the tone out. If you know, this is the best way I can describe it. Coyotes have always had that real, you know, jackhammer type sound. It's always just, you know, it's kind of like been real skippy and choppy and very cool, but you know, this system really smooths out the noise that you get. And it's, you know, and I'm sure you've seen it in other videos too, it is a much higher pitch tone, and it's not a lot higher pitched, but you know, it's both. I feel like in the low RPM range, it's a little bit lower. In the upper RPM range, it's a little bit higher. And you know, obviously they're two different engines, but this exhaust setup right here is as close as I think a Coyote can come to sounding like a GT350. Obviously it's not a GT350, but I feel like this system is the closest comparable, is that a word? The closest noise to a GT350, that's what we're gonna go with. The downshifts too. When you're rev match downshifting, it gives you these nasty pops, and it's a good noise. How many different sounds this thing makes. I mean, zero, you know, from idle to 3,000 RPM sounds a certain way, and at 3,000 RPMs it changes tone. Then, you know, 3,000 to 4,500 it sounds different again from before, and then, you know, 4,500 to redline it sounds completely different again. I love how the car just changes who it is, you know, throughout the rev range. It's, you know, it's cool going through that and getting to just kind of hear the pitch of the car change. It really sounds good, guys. It really sounds good. Another thing, I've never been a big cold start guy. I never thought that was really cool. Apparently that's a cool thing. But I enjoy cold starts in this car now. Cold starts are really cool. This thing's loud, man. I think that's probably my favorite part about this car. And I'll show you guys a little bit more what I mean by this in a second. But this car, the exhaust this car has now is total split personality. So, I mean, you have a loud, and I mean loud, it's a very, very loud exhaust when, you know, when you're wide open throttle. But when you don't want to be loud, like right now, I'm just cruising along at 40 miles an hour in 5th gear, it's perfectly quiet. And that's where you spend the extra money with Corsa, because like I said earlier, it's very easy to make a loud exhaust. I said everybody can do that. But to make a loud exhaust that can also be quiet, because I mean, let's face it, most of us, anyways, so let's face it, the majority of us that are putting exhaust on these cars are going to be daily driving these cars, right? And you know, look, it's great to be loud, you know, 90% of the time, I'm with that. But that 10% of the time, when you do want to be quiet, when you are just cruising through the neighborhood, or you are, you know, on a long drive, you know, I drive this thing a ton on the highway, you want it to be a little quiet. And we'll go get on the highway here. I'll show you guys this now, and of course, this little party piece. All right, so let's move on to this car's party piece now. We're gonna get on the freeway. Obviously, you won't be able to hear exactly what it sounds like, because, you know, this is through a microphone out in the car, but kind of walk you guys through how this thing sounds on the highway when you're not trying to go fast. We'll go through the kind of the different speeds real quick. So 65 miles an hour. Let's go up to 70. 70. You can't hear it. I mean, it's virtually gone. Okay, get up to 75. There you go. I mean, come on, because I mean, most of us are going to be cruising between, you know, 65 and 75 anyway. And, I mean, it's virtually silent. I mean, if anything, it's got just maybe the tiniest little growl to just let you know that there's still an exhaust back there. But, I mean, when I'm talking virtually silent, I mean, it's dead silent. You hear the tires more than you hear the exhaust, and I think that's a super important thing. You know, when you're putting an exhaust on a car, is you want, like I said, you want a car that can be quiet when you want it to be. And the way Corsa does this is, I assume with Magic, they call it RSC, Reflective Sound Cancellation Technology, where I like Magic better. And That is my favorite thing, because the Roush didn't drone at all either, but you could still hear it. It was still a louder exhaust note. It wasn't drone. If you guys don't know what drone is that sound that you get between like 1500 and 2000 RPMs when you're cruising, or just whatever, 1500 and 2000 RPMs, that rattles the inner depths of your soul and makes you want to start punching children. You guys have ever seen the movie Kingsman, the first one? Remember the church scene where everybody's killing everybody? That's what drone does to you. That's exactly it, actually. That's what drone does to you. So I guess you guys want to, apples to apples compare, my Corsa system to my old Roush SV X-Pipe system. This is where I would go with it. So price-wise, this is about twice the price. My old system was about $700. This one's $1,500. Volume-wise, I feel like they're about equal. Honestly, I feel like when you're not at wide open throttle, the Corsa is actually a little bit quieter. If you're just, cruising, shifting it, 2,500 RPMs or so, I feel like the Corsa is quieter in that regard. Like I said, wide open throttle, I think they're about the same. Definitely highway, Corsa wins 100%. I feel like it makes it so much more pleasant when you're driving, when you don't have to hear that the whole time. I mean, that's cool if you're out playing with the boys having fun, but if you're driving 4 hours from Houston to Dallas, not as much fun. Tone-wise, I think the Corsa wins hands down. It makes a cleaner tone. It's a little bit higher pitched and very, very race car. I definitely, and I didn't know that I was gonna like it a lot more coming from my old system. I thought it would be like a little bit different, but it wouldn't be a whole lot different, but it really is a whole lot different. You can really tell what a full 3-inch exhaust, sounds like compared to the old one, and it makes a lot better noise. I'm very happy with it. So one thing I do want you guys to know, we'll roll the window down now, is I am sponsored by Corsa now. So I'm in a relationship with them. They're an awesome company, but where I'm going with this is I will never, ever, ever lie to you guys for a company. I don't care, what they try and offer me. If I don't like something, I'm gonna tell you guys I don't like it, because, the way I look at it is, if you guys are watching this video, I've had so many of you guys tell me, especially when it came to like my old Roush system, you guys are like, hey, I bought this exhaust because of your video. So if I'm at a point right now where you guys are going to spend your hard-earned money on something I say, I will not lie to you guys. Like I said, I don't care what someone tries to offer me. I'm just going to keep saying it over and over again, but I will never ever tell you guys I like something if I don't truly like it. I truly like this. I truly like it a lot. So I do feel like there is one place this exhaust might sound a little bit better, and let's go there now. All right, guys, so welcome to the Washburn Tunnel. Pretty much the only tunnel in Houston, at least that I know of. I figure with this new exhaust, the only appropriate thing to do to it is to blast through a tunnel a few times, and I've been to this once a long time ago, and I haven't been since. So let's go make some noise in a tunnel. Good? Well, that was cool. The best part about this tunnel is there's a roundabout on either end of it, so you can, this tunnel is really just a big NASCAR track, and you can just keep going until someone tells you to stop. So let's go do it one more time, and then we should probably get out of here before someone tells us to stop. So, and put our hands behind our back. Alright guys, that just about does it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you to Corsa for hooking me up with this killer Corsa Extreme Catback. They have been a really cool, awesome company to work with, and I look forward to working with them for a long time. And if you guys have any questions for me about the exhaust, let me know, and I will go ahead and link the install video. That'll be the first link in the description below, so you kind of show you guys how I walk through put this thing on my car. And like I said, super easy install, and you guys get to see what Madison thinks of it too. So alright guys, well, I'll stop talking. That does it for me. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Y'all take care. Bye.